Welcome to the Daily Jerry Anderson podcast, which today, being a slow enough kind of a day, begins with a long-ranging discussion about what the presenter had for his breakfast. The presenter is aware that this may not be of great interest to others, but nevertheless proceeds with some enthusiasm. You see, Stephen Nolan spent a lot of time in England, you see, in Radio 5, so he's beginning to talk like that a bit. Mm-hmm. You see? Yeah. And William Crawley wants to be in England, so he's wanting to talk like that, and he's talking like that a bit.
That's very cruel.
That's what I'm saying. Can you think of any other explanation why they're speaking? They've suddenly become the one person. I can't tell them apart anymore. I'm going to
tell the people about your jam puff.
No,
go on.
Because it was an apple puff.
Oh well, what was your apple puff then?
I don't know. I ate an apple puff this morning
for his breakfast. For his breakfast.
I've never done that before. It's not a good idea. Do you know what happened? I went into the shop and I saw it, and I went, "My God, that apple puff's for me." It was all puffy, and there was apples sneaking out the side of it. And I went, "Oh, I want it. And I brought it up here and I looked at it for a while and I said, this could well be a mistake.
No. Janet says, why do you not have your gravy ring?
Tell Janet to keep out of this.
Keep your nose out of his gravy ring.
Keep your nose out of this gravy. What did Fred and Clinton say? Keep your nose out of Northern Ireland affairs. Isn't that what somebody said to President Clinton?
That's
keep
right.
your nose out of Northern Ireland politics. Keep your nose out. Keep your nose out.
So it's upset you?
I saw the apple puff and I said, do you know the way when you see a beautiful woman, you say, I want her? No, you don't do that, no. But I'm saying, no, ordinary people, when they see a beautiful woman, say, I want her. I looked at the apple puff. That's the stage I've reached now. I'm looking at apple puffs and saying, I want them. And I gorged it into me. You know what I did? I ate it before my tea was ready. Do you know sometimes you put your apple puff down and you put
I told you to warm it up.
No.
You should have, yeah. You put your apple puff into the microwave for...
No, it ruins them.
No.
It flattens them.
It doesn't.
It
if
flattens
you put
them.
it in for a max of 15
you never put any kind of pastry or crust into the microwave because it flattens it and softens it.
It doesn't. 15 seconds. You do the same with a sausage roll.
I spit on your microwave.
15 seconds and you'll have a
I
puffy.
spit on your 15 seconds. No. Never put any kind of pastry.
I do it and it works.
There's a people.
Yes.
There are people who shall be nameless. And I'm going to tell you this, I saw that. And you saw this too. And I saw the greatest crime against humanity. There are people, and I'm not going to name them, who are wonderful bakers. You know what I'm talking about. And they make a wonderful particular little pie. And if a person goes in and asks for this wonderful particular little pie and brings it home and puts it lovingly in the oven and heats it up over a period of half an hour, that is the most wonderful little pie that you have ever eaten in your entire life. But if you go into the place where you buy this pie and you'd say, I'd like a cup of tea, can I have one of me pies there, please? They put it into the microwave. And it comes out like a big, sloppy, wet, horrible devil thing that you don't want. And you can't say, look at you done that lovely pie. That pie was beautiful before you put it in. You put it in the microwave, ruins everything except scrambled eggs. The presenter habitually whinges that his programme is not taken seriously, nor is it allocated the resources that it deserves. This is a common enough whinge, but today he is particularly incensed and provides some telling detail. Any other programme on radio, so say, for instance, what do you call your man looks like Stephen Nolan? Mm-hmm. William Crawley. Stephen Nolan. Stephen Nolan has a team around him who are terrified of him. But there's about 5 or 6 of them, and they jump and leap around and do everything for him. Hugo Duncan, even, has 2 people trailing him around. Alan Simpson even has people walking around after him who are with him every minute of the day. I have nobody except them in there. And they're only here from 10:30 to 12.
Excuse me.
And they don't want to be here.
Janet and I are here on a voluntary basis.
That's what I mean. You don't want to be here.
Janet's our receptionist who comes in here
I know.
to help out. And
where's the people who are supposed to work in this programme?
I don't get paid at all. You know what I mean? I get a pittance.
I know you get a pittance. That's enough for you.
Well, if we were properly paid, we would look after you.
Janet doesn't get it. Well, am I supposed to do this thing on my own here?
Yes.
Well, come Hugo's not expected to do his on his own, and the fat boy, he's everybody around him. People are bringing him hamburgers and buns and everything. People bring me nothing but abuse. Anyway, the people are upset. They think that I'm being treated with a lack of respect. That's all I'm saying.
What?
Well, a couple of messages here. I don't want to. I'll read this one. I'm so sorry for bothering you, Jerry. This is a doctor writing. Please accept my sincere apologies. I heard Mr. Coyle castigating you on yesterday's show for your lack of training And you did that, didn't you?
I did not.
Yes, you did.
What? Explain.
Yes, you did.
Explain.
You asked me, were you running yesterday?
Oh, that training.
That training.
No,
and I explained to you
that
the reason
wasn't
why I wasn't
castigating you.
That
was inquiring.
Okay, let me be nice to you. Were you running yesterday?
No, here it is. How's your training going?
Ha ha.
Yes.
But if I ask you, if I know that you're ill, if I know that you're not well, I'm not going to say, have you been training? Because the answer is no, I haven't been, because I haven't been ill. I've been ill this last couple of days. I'm worried about myself. I've had 2 colds in 3 weeks. Look, you can hear my voice.
There's a dose going around.
I know, but I haven't met him yet. Talk quickly turns to Lesser Spotted Ulster, closely followed by Ultimate Ulster. This is one of the many programmes on Ulster television which tells us in the title where we live. Taste of Ulster tells us what we taste like. Did you see Joe Mahan last night? Did you see him looking through the big stone with the hole in the centre? Did you see that?
What was I doing at 7:30?
I have no idea. Last night on Lesser Spotted...
I was sleeping.
You were sleeping at 7:30?
Yeah.
Where were you? In the old people's home? Where were you?
No, I slept.
You're sleeping at 7:30?
I'm going to tell you, this is true.
What?
I'm not going to tell you a word of a lie. I'm not going to tell you a word of a lie.
Go on.
I was lying on the settee watching the news, and then I get very drowsy.
What happened? Was Judge Judy not on?
Judge Judy was over.
Sorry.
Yeah, and it was 7 o'clock, and
Yeah.
my wife was going out to visit her sister.
Legion of Mary.
And I was lying on the settee.
Yeah.
And she said to me, she says, I'll be back about 9 o'clock or so, right? And so she gave me the remote control
And a sleeping tablet.
and the telephone beside me.
And a tranquilizer dart.
No. And she said to me, she says, I've turned the heating off. Will you be all right? And I says, I don't know. So she went to the hot press and she got one of our grandchildren's little blankets. And she says, there, throw it over your knees. And she put it over my knees, and I went out, and my knees were lovely and warm, and I fell asleep. I fell asleep until 8:10. So I missed Joe Mahan.
You know, you're only a hair away from the Semolina.
No, I thought that was very nice,
Just
very
a hair.
kind of her.
You're just a hair away from saying,
Wasn't
do you
it,
want me to
Janet?
mash up your banana?
Janet said that was very nice of her.
No, it's not, Janet. Yes. Do you want me to mash
Yes,
up?
it
Do you want me
is.
to mash up your banana for you? You don't want to hurt your throat swallowing it.
If you would, yes.
Last night on Lesser Spotted Ulster, Joe Mahan climbed a hill where he found a small ancient stone with a hole in the centre. Joe looked through the small hole in the stone and said, I bless everything I see.
Now, someone said that.
What?
Someone said that when they looked through the stone.
You have to say, I bless everything I see.
Aye.
I don't know what Joe was on, but it certainly wasn't poundies and buttermilk. That's from Matt Baggett, who was up in our city the other day. Did he, what, he blessed everything? It's
an old story.
I bless everything I see through the hole in this stone.
And it was some saint or somebody or
some saint?
Or somebody, some holy man.
Holy
who
man.
Travelled the land then, and he lifted the stone and he says,
I bless everything I see. Yes. I bless through this hole in this stone. I bless everything and everyone that I see. I turned to the Pope there.
There's a whole...
Remember the Pope used to talk like that, and then he stopped. The presenter and his interrupter have never warmed to barbecues. As long-time warriors in the class struggle, we regard the barbecued sausage as a symbol of oppression. People like us once felt the same about golf, but many have capitulated and stride the fairways of our green and pleasant land without guilt.
I'm not a barbecue person, you see. I don't like barbecue food.
No, do you know what I don't like about
Thank you
barbecue?
for it.
Do you know what I don't like? Do you know what always happens to me?
I always feel as though it's not cooked properly.
That's because you're fussy. No, do you know the worst thing about? No, the worst thing about barbecue.
Your fingers are all greasy and horrible, and you want to go away and wash your hands. And it's just horrible. So it's horrible food.
I don't want to go away and wash my hands because I'm always drunk. What happens is you go to a barbecue, right? Now I've never been to many of them, but I've been to enough to know what the habits are. You go to a barbecue and they keep giving you a drink. And you're sitting there maybe at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 5 o'clock, something like that. You keep drinking beer and vodka and stuff like that. And then a man goes over and says, what would you like to eat? And you go, the last thing you want is a sausage, a bit of steak, a chop.
I would devour that.
I know that's because you're one of those people that you eat when you drink.
Yeah.
See, the more I drink, the less I want to eat.
No.
You're one of those pigs.
Yeah.
I hope you don't mind me calling
No, it's
you
all right. No, but I know where you're coming from, and I would agree with you. But barbecue food, no, doesn't do anything for me at all. The idea of standing. I remember the last one I was at was when we went to a beach. There was only a handful of us. And by the time they could get the whole thing set up, you're just standing about a beach. And we ended up, it wasn't that warm a day, we had our coats on us. You were standing on a beach with coats on you. And
do you know the thing? Do you know the thing that I can't? Do you know
where they sit?
Do you know the thing that I can't understand?
Off our head.
When there was a barbecue, you go out to somebody's garden, right, or lawn, or whatever it is, or back garden, and you go out and you bring all this stuff out, and you fire up the thing, and you go this and you go that, and a perfectly serviceable cooker inside.
Yes.
Why don't you just do it there and bring it out? You know.
Yes.
Why don't you just do that?
Well, we were at one a couple of years ago, and the fella had it again out in his backyard. And as he called you out for your food, everyone went inside and sat and watched the TV. And ate it in the house. You know what I mean? He was outside cooking it.
Listen,
we brought it in.
Do you remember I told you that there's a great discrepancy between... No, as a matter of fact, we don't know the difference between Stephen Nolan and the other fella Crawley.
Yes.
Here's an example of it. A fella sends me an email. I'm going to read it the way it is. Jerry, that was one of the cheekiest handovers ever. You just cut Mr. Taggart off.
That's cruel.
Yes, it is cruel, isn't
That's
it? But I'm a very cruel person.
You are.
The presenter again disinterrs the dead and does impersonations of them. There should surely be a law that has been drafted to prevent this kind of thing, but there does not seem to be one.
I talked about Derek before.
Could you play jiving music?
I can't play jiving music because I don't particularly like it, Sean.
Well,
I don't like it because I'll tell you why. When the girls dance, their skirts go way above their hips, and I don't like that kind of talk because it makes me feel uncomfortable. But it's a wonderful album.
But this is for the Bairnswear girls who love jiving music. They asked you before. I think
That'll be the Bairnswear. Where are they from?
I don't know, so I'm sure. I think they may be Lurganish.
Around about Lurgan. Lurgan's a beautiful part of the country, I have to say now. But I have not been there often now. I'm more of a Belfast sort of a guy, and I like the Glens of Antrim. But I'm not particularly keen on Lurgan. Now, I hope they don't be getting upset now.
Did you ever jive yourself?
I jived occasionally, but it's a wonderful feeling, I have to be honest with you. But you need the coordination. I've never been particularly twinkle-toed, but I have to say I'm a bit like a rhinoceros with knickers on, and I don't know what to say apart from that.
Thank you for listening. Back tomorrow.